Hi friends, today we are going to discuss about solver in Excel. So if you already know about goal seek function in Excel, obviously solver is better than goal seek. So we will understand once we go through what are the advantages of solver, and we will also look at some example how we can use solver for solving the various complicated calculations. So if you look into this solver is a Microsoft Excel add-in program, so which is generally directly not available in Excel. We need to add in this into Excel before using it. So I will also show you how to add this function in Excel. So you can use for what if analysis basically, right? So use solver to find an optimal either maximum or minimum value for a formula in one particular cell, that is called objective cell, and then it is subject to different constraints or limits on the values of other formula cells in a worksheet. So we will look at what are those objective cells and what kind of constraints or limitations that we can set and solve in the Excel, right? So if you know about goal seek requires a single input cell and a single output cell. So, but we can use solver in Excel to solve problems with multiple input cells. So we will look into one example where you can easily understand. So what are the other advantages of solver? So Excel solver enables you to specify multiple adjustable cells. So you can use up to 200 adjustable cells overall. So that's a very big number. And Excel solver also enables you to set up constraints on the adjustable cells. So for example, you can tell solver to find a solution that not only maximizes profit but also satisfies certain conditions, such as achieving a gross margin between 60 to 70% or keeping expenses less than, let's say, $5,000. So these conditions are said to be constraints on the solution. And Excel solver seeks not only desired result but also the optimal one. For example, looking for an optimal result might mean that you can find a solution that's the maximum or minimum possible. And for complex problems, solver can generate multiple solutions. You can then save these different solutions under different scenarios. So let's get into Excel and see how we can use solver in Excel. Let's take an example and see how we can solve this problem. So before that, if you are not sure how to add solver into Excel, or you doesn't know where is the solver function, so the solver function is under data. If you click on data, you can see the solver here, but by default it is not available, so we need to add this function. So let's see how we can add this function. So click on file, then go to options, then click on add-ins, and then click on go. So here you have these functions, so you can click on solver add-in, I have already done, and then press OK. So then when you press OK, it will come under data menu, right? So this is how you can add solver into Excel. So now let's look at our problem here. What is the problem and why we need solver to solve this problem? Let's say you have a manufacturing unit and you are manufacturing cot, chair and table. So you are manufacturing three type of products, and if you sell cot you will get a profit of 1500, and if you sell chair, one chair, you will get 750 rupees, and if you sell table you will get 1200 rupees. So now you want to know how much quantity, what is the product mix of these three products, how much each of the product you should manufacture so that you will get maximum profit. And here the constraints are, you have three activities, three constraints. One is assembly, and another is finishing, and then the material that you need for manufacturing these products. So you have labor, and then you need to utilize the labor very effectively so that you can get maximum profit. So you wanted to know how many these products you should manufacture within the given constraints of these hours and wood availability. Let's say for making cot you need 40 hours for assembly, and then 20 hours for finishing the product, and you need, let's say, 60 kgs of wood. So this is an example. And similarly for chair, you need 20 hours for assembly and 15 hours for finishing, and then you need a 10 kg of wood material. And table also similarly, you need 30 hours for assembly, 20 hours for finishing, and then 40 kgs of wood. So these are the constraints, you have conditions, and here the maximum hours that are available for you based on the number of resources you have or machinery you have. The constraint is you cannot go beyond 8000 hours for assembly, and you cannot go beyond 4000 hours of finishing, and then you do not have more than 7000 kg of wood. So using these conditions, so we need to see how much we should produce so that we will get maximum profit. So you can do it manually one by one. Let's say you put 1 here, and then you will see how much you are consuming, right, and then how much profit you are making. But it is a very tedious process. You need to do multiple combinations, multiple iterations to find out the actual number of these units to be produced to get the maximum profit. So for this there is a excellent solution available in solver, which is inbuilt in, available in Excel. So let's see how we can solve this problem using solver. So before that, let me explain how I have calculated maximum profit. So this is just sum product formula where you can take CE to E2, this is into comma C3 to E3. So what it will do, it will multiply C2 into C3 and plus D2 into D3 plus E2 into E3. So the sum is this is the total profit. So instead of giving multiple sums, you can directly use sum product, this range comma this range, so that you will get value. And then here these are the values, right? You cannot exceed more than the value that is available. Let's say you have 8000 hours available. So here I have calculated, let's say if you put 1, so it is coming 40, because 1 into 40 equal to 40 hours. If I put 10, it becomes 400, right? Because 10 into 40 equal to 400 hours. So this is how I have given. So here I have again used sum product formula. So this and this range, so that you will get total value, total hours required for all three. Let's say chair also 10 and then table also 10. So now it is 900. You can see 40 plus 30 plus 20, 90, 90 into 10, 900, right? So this is correct. So this is how formula is given. So at present we don't know these values, but solver will give you these three values so that you will get maximum profit, and also it will use these three parameters less than the values that we have shown here, because we do not have more than these many hours and kgs of wood. So now let's see how we can use this in solver and solve this problem. So let's remove these values. Okay, now so click on solver function. So this is the solver function, so where you need to fill all these parameters. Let me explain what are these parameters. So like we discussed, what is the objective? So objective is to get maximum profit. So let us click on this cell so that it will give you maximum profit, and here we can select maximum, minimum, value. So by here we have selected maximum, it is by default. So maximum we have selected because we need to get maximum profit. If you want to have a minimum profit, you can select minimum, or if you want to have a certain value, let's say you want 10,000 or 1 lakh, you can enter that value and select this option. So now I am selecting maximum because we need to get maximum profit, and by changing variable cells. So what are the variable cells that we need to change? So these are the three variable cells, right? Because we keep changing these values so that we can check we are getting the maximum profit, right? So now we need to set the constraints subject to some constraints, right? So because we cannot have go more than 8,000 hours of assembly, we cannot go more than 4,000 hours of finishing, and then we cannot go more than 7,000 kgs of wood. So these constraints we can add here. So click on add. Now cell reference. So cell reference is this, because once you add the values here, you will get a value here which we have seen before. So click on this, and then this value should be less than or equal to 8,000, right? So here we can select whatever the value you need based on the constraints. So here the constraint is it should be less than or equal to 8,000. So we can select less than or equal to, and then the constraint is 8,000, right? So this cell value should be less than or equal to this value. Then press, either you can press OK or you can click add. So now you can add one more. So press F8, because this should be less than or equal to 4,000. So this should be less than or equal to, constraint is 4,000. Then click on add. So and the last one is we need to click on F9, which is wood, and it should be less than or equal to 7,000 kgs, right? So now all three are added. So you don't have to click on add now, you can just press OK. So now all the three constraints are displayed here. So now we can go into other options like make unconstrained variables non-negative. So it should be positive values. So we can select this, and then we have to use solving method. So for this kind of problem we need to use simplex linear programming. So select this simplex LP option here, and then you need to click on solve. Right, so now you understood the parameters how we have set. Let me explain once again. There are three parameters. One is objective, so this is the maximum profit we need, so we have selected C4, correct, and then we need maximum, so we have selected maximum. If you need minimum, you can select minimum, or if you need a certain value, you can click on this and enter value here. And then the changing variables also, these are the three changing variables, C2 to E2, because these three products we want to see how many we can manufacture keep changing the values, right, and looking at these constraints. So these three constraints are assembly, finishing, wood, where you have maximum limitation, so we are giving those constraints. And then let's press solve, right? So now solver found a solution. So it is showing that solver found a solution. All constraints and optimal conditions are satisfied. Okay, so here you have two more options. Keep solver solution. If you press OK, it will keep the solver solution. If you click on restore original values and then OK, then it will go back to previous values, right? So, and also you have reports here. You can generate answer report, sensitivity report, and limits report. So this video we are not covering about these topics, but you can look at the sensitivity report, where you can see what is the maximum possibility, minimum possibility, various options are there. So that is the advantage of these reports. We can click on that and then it will generate those reports as well. So now, since this solution is satisfied, we can press OK. So now you see here the decimal values are coming. We can also set integer, so that you will not get a decimal value. Right now I am just removing the decimal value here. So now you see you need to manufacture 93 cards, 143 chairs, and 0 tables. So this way you will get maximum profit, right? So this is how we can use solver to solve a problem. So for example, if you want to increase the profit here to 2000, right, and then you can once again remove these values, and then you can again solve the problem with the solver. Let's see what it will give. So if you increase the profit, then this is the combination. You need to put 93, 143, 0. Let's say we increase the profit to 3000 here, and then decrease it to 1000, and then decrease this to 500, and then see how the product mix will come here now. So delete these values. Now let's see how the product mix it will show. So the constraints and everything is same. We are not changing it. We are only changing the profit. Solve. So now it is giving a solution that you need to manufacture 175 tables and no need of cot and chair, so that you will get maximum profit. And also you can change these variables. So let's say you got more wood available, then you can change it. For example, you got 10,000 kilos of wood, you can modify this. Or maybe you got some extra labor during peak demand season, then maybe you are getting some extra people from outside on contract basis. Then let's say I am increasing from 8,000 to 15,000, and then this one to 9,000, right? And wood I have, let's say 15,000. So you can change these variables. Or maybe these hours, if you got some automation, you can reduce the hours further. So you can keep changing these things, and then you can see how many you need to manufacture. Let's check once again. So solver, all the functions are options are same. So click on solver. So now still you are getting same thing. So 375 tables, you will get this much of profit, because I think the profit is more here, so it is giving tables. In the first case, the table's profit was less, so it was giving 0. So friends, this is how we can solve a linear programming problem in a manufacturing industry. Similarly, you can use this for any other purposes. So basic thing you need to understand is these are the variables that you need to find out, and this is either maximum or minimum or specific value, and these are the constraint that you have. If you have these conditions in any kind of a problem, you can use solver to get a solution, optimal solution. So friends, this is all about solver in Excel. Thanks for watching, and hope you understand how to use solver. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and also share this video with your friends and colleagues who will get benefited out of this video. And also press bell icon if you want to watch my latest videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.